I will call the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors regular meeting to order on Monday, October 3rd, 2016, Central District Courtroom, 11 Bank Street, Chatham, Virginia. At this time, we'll have the roll call. Mr. Mundy.
Mr. Barber.
Here.
Mr. Hagerman.
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock.
Present.
Mr. Davis.
Present.
Mr. Scares.
Here.
Mr. Warren.
Present.
Mr. Barksdale.
Present. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will have a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any items to add to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion we approve the agenda.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Mr. Davis and a second by Mr. Warren. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Okay, we're down to hearing of citizens on the agenda. When you come down forward, we'd like for you to speak into the mic so that you will be heard. It's an opportunity to speak on any agenda item or any item that you so choose. Each person speaking will have 3 minutes, and just note that hearing of citizens is not a question and answer format with the Board of Supervisors. Each person will have 3 minutes. And the first sign up is Mr. Dan Hayes.
Good evening. My name is Dan Hayes. I live in the Chatham-Blairs district, but today I'm here representing Averett University. Since the dawn of human events and recorded history, or at least since lunch today, it has been well considered that as a community we have things in common. We of course have our differences, but in more cases we have beliefs and desires so in common that it binds us together as a county, as a region, and as a people. Some have said, if only there was a time and place that we could have an event of the people, by the people, and for the people. I have a solution to this very question that can be solved by all of us working together. Averett University Homecoming will be October 14 through 16, featuring our Friday night homecoming hometown party and our Saturday tailgate and the football game where our Cougars will go up against the Lions of Greensboro. Now, someone did ask me if that was Lions or Liars, and I'll let you decide on that. It's your own choice. We can work together to have a great time. Full details and tickets are available at www.averett.edu/homecoming. I'd like to remind you that more people have been coming to our campus at 707 Mount Cross Road to see the games in our new stadium. Our North Campus has become a regional event center. With that, I will add, watch for signs as you come on that Saturday, October 15th, because when our lot fills up, we run a shuttle to our off-site parking. So you should follow the directions that you see and meet us there, and we'll shuttle you right down there. Again, full information is available at www.averett.edu/homecoming. I'll be glad to take any questions. Oh, this isn't a question and answer thing, so I'm not taking any questions. But I will share with you an official 2016 brochure, a ticket to the Friday night party, and an official, bona fide, high-quality Averett pen.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hayes. We're looking forward to the
Absolutely. There you go. Take it to the board. Absolutely. You should come. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a DJ, steak dinner. It's going to be nice. Okay, very good. I wasn't sure how to get there. Run around. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Very good.
Seriously, Mr. Hayes, thank you very much. We thank Ava too, and we're gonna, some of us will see you there.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and I hope this is a fun evening for you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the only person who signed up, but is there anyone else who would like to make citizens' comments? Of course, that would be a hard act to follow, I think. Okay, there are none, we'll move on. Thank you. We're down to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Barber and a second by Mr. Davis. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. We have two public hearings, and we're at item 7 on the agenda. Mr. Murphy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it is necessary to consider a minor change to Pittsylvania County Code, Section 31-3.1. Specifically, this is a one-word change that came to us as a request from the Emergency Medical Advisory Committee, or EMAC. So EMS bill and revenue is dispersed to a volunteer EMS agencies monthly instead of quarterly, that's now specified in the county code. Procedurally and operationally, it's no hardship if this request is honored. And Mr. Chairman, we just ask that you conduct a public hearing and following input from our citizens. Staff recommends amended Pittsylvania County Code Section 31-3.1 as stated.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lundy. At this time, I will open the public hearing at 7:07. We do not have anyone signed up on the register, but is there anyone who would like to speak to this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing at 7:07.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we amend Pennsylvania County Code 31-3.1 from quarterly to monthly distribution.
Okay, motion by Mr. Blackstock and second by Mr. Barber. We'll do a hand vote, Mr.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Hagerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Mr. Scares?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Barksdale?
Yes. Moving to item 8, the second public hearing. Mr. Money.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this second public hearing is really housekeeping at this point in time. Following amending the way the county assesses the merchant's capital tax, it is necessary to amend the county budget to be in line with that particular type of assessment and rate. This will be done by resolution, and I just ask that at some point in time that you look over page 87 and 101 in your board packet. What this does is remember that our budget is done following a public hearing. So you have the public hearing, you hear citizen input, and you cannot act on the budget until at least 7 days following the public hearing. But what the board does is approve the budget by resolution. And in that, it specifies a lot of procedures that the staff follows in its accounting methods. It also specifies all of the tax rates and the assessment methods. So between pages 87 and 101, it shows the resolution that you use to adopt the current budget. And what it does, on one of these pages, it has strike-through text showing the old assessment language for the merchant's capital tax. And then over on page 101, it shows the way the new resolution will be brought back to you at your following meeting. So, Mr. Chairman, just in conclusion, we ask that you conduct a public hearing. There will be no action requested by the board this evening. And then at your next meeting, we'll have a resolution back that amends the budget as I just stated.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lundy. I will open the public hearing at 7:10. We have no one who has signed up to speak on this item. If you did not sign up, do we have anyone who would like to make comments during the public hearing? Okay, hearing none, I will close the public hearing at 7:10. Does the board have any concerns or any questions, Mr. Mundy or anyone? This is no, otherwise, no, it's no action. Mr. Hagan?
Mr. Chairman, this, only come out 3 days before the meeting, before this meeting, and, there's, some citizens call me and, wanting to be here perhaps at the next meeting, postpone this. And also, I would like to, go over it, with their finance director, also for, at least a few days. So, could we postpone this until the next, meeting, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Hunt, can you speak
Sure.
to that?
Well, it is going to get postponed because we cannot legally take any action tonight, so it's going to be on the next agenda. So you're going to have significant time to go over with Ms. Vanderhyde, and any citizens can come to the next meeting, because there will be no action at this meeting.
Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Okay, Mr. Hagan, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on. Unfinished business, item 9 on the agenda. Mr. Mundy?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is pertaining to the library appropriation for the Mount Hermon branch modifications. There was a motion and a second made at your meeting that was held on September 20th for a $190,000 renovation for the new Mount Hermon Library branch. The 10-day layover has now took effect, and following any discussion this evening, Mr. Chairman, we would need a roll call vote to appropriate $190,000 from the unassigned general fund balance for this specific purpose.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mundy. Does the board have any further discussion on this matter, Mr. Moore?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the recommendation that we appropriate from unappropriated funds $190,000 from the renovations of Mount Hermon Library.
Second.
Yes.
It is a 10-day layover has been met.
We don't need a
So
motion.
we'll just wait till the
We just need a
vote.
vote. You don't need a motion.
Right, we just voted. Correct. Any other discussion now? Okay. You're ready, Mr. Mundy?
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Haberman?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Mr. Scares?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Barksdale?
Yes. New business, item 10, expenditure for the month of September 2016. Mr. Mundy?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the September expenditure refunds equal $122,739.99. This is known as unanticipated revenue that's come in for recovery. And Mr. Chairman, we'll need a motion and a second to kick off the required 10-day layover.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Barber and second by Mr. Warren. Any discussion?
You need to nail in there, Mr. Hunt.
That would be good, yes.
10-day layover. Okay. Item 11, Mr. Mundy?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, at the last meeting of the Board of Supervisors, that is the last regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors, the board announced it may interview potential candidates for the county administrator's position. The statement was read of such intentions. I read that particular statement and said within the next 15 days, the board may interview candidates at undisclosed times and locations for that purpose. Interviews were conducted by the board, and the board at this time desires to certify that only exempted matters were discussed. And Mr. Chairman, what I'm going to do is just certify at those 2 interview sessions with the county administrator candidates that you only discussed exempted matters. Be it resolved that at meetings of the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors to interview candidates for the position of county administrator on Monday, September 26, 2016, and Wednesday, September 28, 2016, the Board of Supervisors members hereby certify by recorded vote
that to the best of each board member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meetings. If any BOS member believes that there was a departure from the requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Code, he shall so state prior to the vote, indicating the substance of the departure. The statement shall be recorded in the Board of Supervisors minutes. Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Hagerman,
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Scares,
Yes.
Mr. Warren,
Yes.
Mr. Barksdale.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Monday. Item 12, appointments. Looks like we have 3 for the Planning Commission, Expirations, and the Industrial Development Authority. I have the incumbent for the Bannister District, Mr. Randy Anderson, and I would like to nominate him for another term.
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Warren.
I also have a incumbent for the Planning Commission that I would like to make a recommendation that Mr. Richard Motley be reappointed to the Planning Commission for the Chatham-Blairs District.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Warren, second by Mr. Blackstock. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. Mr. Hagerman, do you have a?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr.
Go
Chairman.
ahead.
I'd like to reappoint Mr. Charlie Mahan to the Callan-Scranton District, in the position as, well, actually, in the Industrial Development Authority.
Okay, motion by Mr. Hagerman and second by Mr. Barber. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. Have we overlooked any items? I think not. We're down to board announcements. Mr. Barber will take. Mr. Hagerman,
I have
Mr. Blackstock.
I have none.
I have none, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
No, sir. I have none, Mr. Chairman.
Neither do I. Okay. Mr. Monday,
No, sir.
Mr. Hunt. Okay. We're ready for the closed session.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Board of Supervisors is considering entering closed session for 2 stated reasons. One would be under Virginia Code 2.2-3711A5, discussion of the expansion of an existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the businesses or industry's interest in expanding its facilities in the community. This is for project optimization to discuss a potential economic development incentive package. The second is under Code 2.2-3711A5 and 2.2-3711A40, discussion concerning a prospective business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the businesses or industry's interest in locating its facilities in the community, and discussion, consideration of records excluded under Virginia Code 2.2-3705.6, Section 3, including without limitation those certain confidential proprietary records voluntarily provided by a private business pursuant to a promise of confidentiality from the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors and used by the Board for Business and Trade Development for Project S8. The purpose is discussion concerning a prospective business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the businesses or industry's interest in locating its facilities in the community, and discussion consideration of a non-disclosure agreement. Is there a motion to enter a closed session for the stated reasons?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Warren and a second by Mr. Martin.
I will now call the roll to enter a closed session for those 2 reasons. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Hagerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Scares?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Barksdale?
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman, I will ask that in the closed session, in addition to the board, will be Mr. Sides, Mr. Rowe, Mr. Hunt, and I.
Okay.
Be it resolved that at the meeting of the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors on Monday, October 3rd, 2016, the board members hereby certifies by recorded vote that to the best of each board member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and identified in the motion authorizing the closed meetings were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting. If any member believes that there was a departure from the requirements of the code, he shall so state prior to the vote indicating the substance of the departure. Statement shall be recorded in the minutes of the board. Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Hagerman?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Scares?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Barksdale?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion by Mr. Barber, second by